Thank you, Mr. Casado. I'd also like to thank all of our departments and schools. As y'all know, this is not a once a year kind of effort. All the folks you see in the room and a whole lot at all of our local schools put in a lot of time to make sure that we have a very accurate and a budget that shows the investment of this school district. And so as we talk about needed improvements for this year, that is basically what we're going for. Where are we putting our money that's an investment? One, that either will help us continue the good work that we're doing, or make an adjustment that may be a return on investment, depending on that position. I would say that if you remember last year, we were able locally to do a 4% raise, as Mr. Casado was talking about. We did an analysis after all of the school district budgets were finalized last year, and we were somewhere right in the neighborhood of the top 5% that were able to do an increase in pay locally and a step increase for employees. And so kudos to you as a board. We're putting the money back where I would suggest, and I know you would, it belongs with our people. We're obviously a very heavy people-centered business, and as you saw from the inflation rates, we haven't been able to keep up, but we're doing better than most districts. This year, I think, is no exception. Of course, we won't know what all the other school districts are able to do. We do know there was a one-time adjustment recently we were able to provide, and that was a flow-through from the state. It did cost us about $2.5 million locally. And so that did help, but those are not ongoing increases. And so we're trying to get the cost of living where it will continue to go. We're very hopeful that the state over the next couple of years will make some adjustments, whether it be to the teacher salary schedule or to all schedules, to help us continue this work. But that ultimately is where that's going to have to happen. So the largest portion of this we're recommending this year with where we are currently with the budget is the 3% cost of living to all employees across the board. Obviously, you can see that's the largest portion. We do have the next three top areas that are an investment into our special education services. I think when I was up here the other day, I didn't go back to something that we spent a good bit of time the last couple of years, and something you were able to fund earlier this year for all of our special education department. And just as a reminder, we did and have implemented increased school-based support. Not only did that happen at that time, but that will be happening through our reorganization moving through the summer. We added 5 registered behavior technicians at that time. We're looking to add 3 more through this budget. We did a number of staffing incentives, and again, looking across market analysis and what other districts are doing, not only did some receive additional pay depending on where they are with the job they're doing, but many also received release time to make sure that they could get their work done. So as we continue to do that work, we are adding a few things in this budget. We believe that with all of this work that we've done, we'll be at the level of staffing that we've been discussing for the last 2 or 3 years, and something that we worked through in the Excellence in Governance Institute. That was one of our main goals. And so thank you for the work you've done on that, and this budget is no exception. Just a reminder, we also have a benefits and compensation committee that makes recommendations and looks at a market analysis across the state and the Southeast, as well as locally. Most of this comes directly from that committee. You'll see some of these minor adjustments every year, depending on the work that they're doing. If there's a specific area that we're concerned about, or maybe a group of people are concerned about, we'll give it to that committee. They'll run it through their process and come back with a recommendation to the next budget. I will say we have a couple of additional positions here. We do need an additional purchasing agent. We are recommending adding an open records request position We've had a high number of those coming in, and they haven't slowed down. So we need to hire a full-time person just to take care of that work. And 2 HVAC techs, we're outsourcing much of this now, so we can believe we can save money and do that in-house. And then administrative position. As you know, we've implemented the last couple of years a weighted staffing formula. That has brought in additional positions. As we've decreased the number of students, that's actually increased the number of positions in the local schools. And so our principals, assistant principals, and teachers have had to schedule very carefully to make that work. As you know, we're funded through the QBE formula from the state of Georgia. That mirrors that, and so we make sure that not only we schedule for the needs of the students, but also what matches the QBE funding. And so that has brought in just a great number of positions. That's where we've been able to continue to see a reduction in our class size at the same time with limited budget resources. So with all that said, those are the improvements that we're suggesting. If you don't have any other questions for me, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Prasad. Thank you.